I was born in Chillicothe, Ohio. Don't remember living there at all. My father was a preacher in the Christian church, and he accepted an opportunity to plant a church or start a church in Pensacola, Florida. So we moved to Pensacola, Florida, and really that's where I remember life starting. And I lived in Pensacola until I was 17. My parents divorced when I was 17, and my mom and I moved to Louisville, Kentucky, where she had family that were a good support base for us at the time of the divorce. I guess I would compare myself to a lion. Well, lions are the king of the jungle. I'm the managing partner, so I have to be the king of the jungle. But lions also are very smart, and they are resilient. They're not the strongest animal. They're not the biggest animal, but they are the wisest animal. And so I would say, this is a loaded question because it kind of makes me have to sound egocentric or egotistical. But yeah, I'd be the king of the frickin' jungle, man. I mean, that's what I'd be. I'd be the king of the jungle, okay? We were in Florida in June. I had found out that my daughter had been asked to get married. We were all kind of celebrating that, and I walked about 2 miles to find a place where we could get some celebration cigars. And I didn't feel like walking back, but luckily some strangers pulled up in a golf cart and asked us if we wanted to ride around with them. And so I jumped on their golf cart and just went for a ride with them, and ultimately made it back to the condo. So I'd say that was a pretty spontaneous thing for me. If they've been blind all their life, then there's no way they have concept of color. If they haven't been blind all their life, then you would make a comparison. You say banana, or something like that. But if they've been blind all their life, maybe I'd throw them way off. I would just say something like, cornbread and cornflakes with raisins mixed in or something, just something goofy. I don't know. I mean, how do you describe yellow? It could be anything. I fought my entire life to try to remain humble and to remember that there's nothing special about me, and that the only thing that I'm going to get is with hard work and humility. I've had to work with letting my ego get in the way a lot. So I would change that. Physically, I can't stand my nose. Can't stand it. I kind of took an in-between job with Dan Caslin. He just kind of offered me some office space and like an opportunity to kind of figure out if I wanted to keep doing this. So it was with Dan Caslin, and then there was another attorney there named Michelle Cecil. I think what would have kept me there, if we could have changed one thing, is that there was an ambition to grow and to build and to invest in the business part of law, and making it something that we were growing, but there just didn't seem to be that incentive there. But if that would have changed, I probably would have stayed. But then the opportunity I was given here was, man, we want to grow a law firm, and that kicked in the lion instinct, okay, let's build it. I've made several mistakes along the way. I think one mistake that I made was not being able to devote the time to my family that they needed at probably some very important stages of their lives. I was basically married to practicing law, and so I was not able to I was able, but was unwilling, I guess, to be what I needed to be as a family man. And what's funny about that is it was all so that I could provide for my kids a life that I didn't have. And now looking back on that, that probably wasn't wise either. Now I'm undoing a lot of habits that I instilled in them because I probably gave them things without them working and things like that. And they're wonderful kids, but I see a lot of traits that I wish I could change. So that's probably where what I look back on and would do over. One of the things just recently in my life I've really been dealing with is, well, what am I going to leave my kids? I've been doing some reading, and I read this thing that really hit me. It was, I should be more concerned with what I leave in my kids than what I leave for my kids. Because if what I leave is all for my kids, then they'll blow through it if I haven't left something in them. I would probably set it up to where they each got something, you know, and I would, like, in reserve, but it wouldn't be as much as they think. What I would leave with them is lessons on how I managed that money, what I did with it, giving it to people in need, helping people that have no way of helping themselves. I mean, that's been my career anyway. I would travel some with the money, but I'd keep practicing law. The biggest indicator of dedication is what gets your time, all right? Just kind of do a survey of your life. Well, I'm dedicated to growing a law firm. Well, that's why the law firm gets a lot of my time. You know, I'm dedicated to my wife. I'm dedicated to our relationship, and that's why she gets a lot of my time and my focus and my attention. I'm dedicated to being there for my kids. So the first element of dedication is what you give your time to. Second thing I think that means to be dedicated is to be focused. More and more attorneys are taking the path of least resistance. They're not paying attention to details in their case, they're not creative. And I think that if you're dedicated to practicing law and dedicated to your clients, that you will be creative and that you'll be focused. You'll look at details, you'll pick up on things. And you're not always going to pick up on everything, but I think that focus is a second element of dedication. And third element of dedication, and maybe most important, is the willingness to fail, the willingness to take chances and be wrong, vulnerable, so that you can be better, all right? And I think the very first assessment of anybody and what they're doing is, well, where am I weakest? And then working on your weaknesses so I think dedication means to be vulnerable, being willing to, not being afraid of being wrong or not being afraid of failure.